Guys, with technology, can you hear me? Please let me know. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. I'm so sorry about that. I'm still trying to get this technology thing correct. After 3 virtual job fairs, I probably should have gotten it already, but we got it squared off. So hello, everyone. Welcome. So sorry to hold you guys. I know you guys have a lot to do tonight, and I'm just really excited that you're here with us. Yes. So where are you guys chiming in from? Let me know. Yes, there you guys go. Okay. I was wondering, like, what was going on here? Something was wrong. Yes, good. Okay. Where are you guys coming from? Just a quick roundup. Where are you guys here from? Houston in the house. Woo! Me too. So excited to have you, Georgia. All right, Florida, West Virginia. There we go. Okay, now we got it going. Rhode Island. Hello, Massachusetts. Okay, Georgia. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. New York City. Okay. All right. Okay, so get back into what we were about to do here. I'm so excited to have you guys here with us tonight. I won't take up too much. Really need to get into the meat of today's job fair, but good evening. Welcome to our third. I wish I had my sound horn sound effect, but I don't have it tonight. But I'm so excited. We've been doing this 3 times now, and it's amazing. It gets even better every time. So I'm so thrilled to have you guys here with us today. If you're new here, I'm Boss from Home, and I am your host for tonight's event. And basically, these job fairs, the goal here is to connect you guys with you guys that are job seekers with experts in the field, people that have resources and tools that could guide us through this crazy job market that we're undergoing right now. So we will be providing you with valuable resources to help you with your job search and get you connected with these amazing experts who will provide you with tools, knowledge, and understanding of how to navigate the market. So we have a bunch of well, not a bunch, but we have a great lineup of speakers tonight, and we have activities as well, because we know if you guys are new here, we love to have fun. We add in some games in between just to get things fun, get everyone excited for the event. But before we get into the event, I do want to give you just a brief overview of what to expect for tonight's event, the whole idea behind these job fairs. So basically, I came up with this idea of having the virtual job fair on YouTube because I didn't see that in this particular space. It is, a thing where there are virtual job fairs on the internet, but nothing that I've seen on YouTube where, I was seeing what you guys were probably looking for as well. So I was really excited to get it started, and I love putting on events. I love connecting people with other people, meeting people, connecting them with the people I already know, so that everyone can benefit from these relationships. And so, yeah, and also, you guys know that this channel here, we invite collaboration, we invite togetherness, all right? Because there are different corners of the internet, on different corners of business, where there's competition. It's you against me. You're doing better than me, so I must do something to trump you and outshine you. And that's not what this is about. I want to collect people together and allow people to benefit from others, because you guys don't want to just see me here talking all the time. I admit I don't know everything that there is to know. And so I am a student here as well with you guys, sitting down and learning from these experts. And I'm really excited to pick their brains. Okay, so our mission here is to create a supportive and informative environment where you guys, the job seekers, are able to learn, network, and find job opportunities. We'll be conducting these virtual job fairs as often as I can. I am shooting for every month. However, sometimes things pop up So I will try every month, every other month, but we will be very consistent with them. We will always have a panel of experts, people you might notice here on YouTube, people you might not even notice, but that are truly killing it and have great resources for you guys. We will add in different things like games, maybe some resume reviews at times, and also information about job openings. And like I mentioned, fun and games is always a part of what we do here. And a free grab bag will be included with every virtual job fair. All right. So just know, guys, you can't just grab the goodies and go. I'm not allowing you guys to know the link just yet to get that free grab bag, but you do have to stick around, enjoy the whole entire event, and then I will be making that link live for you guys. So hopefully I can get it right this time. Technology is still something that I'm learning. And yes, I know that you guys, if you're here and you've been here for a while, you are most likely a mature crowd. You know how to keep things respectful, but we have people that come from different creepy crawly parts of the internet. So I just want to reiterate, just keep things very positive and respectful in the comment section. That's what we're here for, and that's what we're all about. Okay, so now we're gonna get started with our game. You guys know we like to start with our icebreaker game, and let's get it started right now. All right. Guess the job. Surprise, surprise, right? Guess the job. So we love this game. Basically, this game is all about guessing the job based on a series of emojis or pics. So I will be sharing, 3 emojis at a time, and you guys will let me know or just comment in the comment section what job that is. All right, so yes, are you guys ready? Let me know in the comment section. Are you guys ready for this game? Let me know. Thank you guys so much for coming from all across the globe. I'm so excited to see you. All right, they're ready. They are ready. Okay, first one. Let's get our music, our fun music, right? Okay, you guys said you're ready, right? First one, guess the job. Based on these 3 emojis, what job is this? Okay, you guys said you're ready. Let's go. Okay, we see assistant, Java developer, teacher. I'm gonna try to stump you guys this time because I'm not successful in that whenever we play this game. You guys are just so smart. Okay, all right. Data entry, IT tech. I don't know why I almost read that it tech. Personal assistant. All right. Let's turn this down. Okay. Ready for the job? The job is a remote worker. You know what? I should have been more clear. It's not a job, it's a type of job. Like, look guys, like, she's on her laptop and she's most likely at a cafe. I'm screaming too. All right, I'm so sorry. The next one will be good, all right? Nobody guessed it. I should have been more specific. All right, next one. Guess this job. This is a job. This is indeed a job. Someone said, okay. Oh, but someone did say remote worker? I missed that. Electrician, stockbroker, okay, data analyst. All right. Anybody else? Stock analyst. All right. A DJ. Benefits analyst. All right. Okay. Oh, accountant. Okay. Something with finance. All right. The job is a business analyst. So you guys kind of you were a little, yeah, you were close with the analyst position. No, certainly not a gamer. All right, next one. Guess this job. A game analyst. Oh man. All right. What's this job, guys? Do you know? Do you know? Okay, 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 okay. You guys are so smart. It is a customer service representative. Great job, guys. Great job. All right, next one. Next one. Guess this job. What job is this based on this microphone, that emoji, and that emoji? Movie producer, okay. A voiceover actor, that's good. Entertainment agent. Movie director, movie producer, okay. All right. Talk show host, that's a good one too. Let's see what the answer is. The answer is a public speaker. Nobody got it. I stumped you guys. It's a public speaker. So you have the mic, person speaking. I know that that particular emoji, it's a public speaker. All right. Next one. So this one is different. This one is just slightly different. Instead of guessing the job, you will guess the work scenario. So in the midst of doing work, what do these three emojis communicate? You know, I gotta make it a little bit difficult for you guys. What is the work scenario? It's really simple. It's more simple than you think. Oh my gosh, guys. Seriously? I thought I stumped you. Yes. Meet the deadline. All right. Good job. Good job, guys. Okay. All right. One more. We're going to guess the scenario for this one. Let's see if you get this. You'll probably guess this. I've been here, and I know a lot of you guys have been here as well. Guess this work scenario. Amazon, that's funny. Right? That's good, courier. That's a good one. Yes. All right. Okay. Yes, rushing to work. You guys got it. A lot of you guys said running late, running to work, running out of work. Yeah, running out of work is another one, right? You just want to leave at the end of the day. Great job, guys. Okay. So let me know if you guys enjoyed that particular game. Was it corny? What do you think? It's one of my favorite games. I love doing this with you guys. So let us know how you enjoyed it in the chat Let us know. Okay, so I'm excited to take this time to, excuse me, to introduce our special guests of the evening. So we have two guests. First, we will have our first guest, Ashley and Cash. Guys, another Ashley. You might be thinking that right now. We've had few Ashleys, but this Ashley shines in particular. She is a career corporate girly. She's a working mom. She's a resume writer that will earn you the six figures. She's also, or she was a hiring manager, and now she is an interview and salary negotiation coach. She is a smiley yet scrappy coach and consultant who is gifted in storytelling and connection. After a 14-year career in Whirlpool, Coca-Cola, and Globe Life, Ashley writes resumes for professionals who are seeking $100,000 roles and facilitates action-inspiring career development workshops. She currently lives in Dallas, Texas. She loves coffee, cooking, and thrifting. My kind of girl. I love those, all of those things. And so later, just after Ashley, we'll be having Terrell Turner. He is a New York Times featured CFO and CPA. He has been recognized as one of the 40 under 40. He simplifies accounting and finance for law firms. And today he's going to teach you, or basically give us some ideas on how we can jump into a high-paying career without a college degree and without any prior experience. All right. So, yes, without further ado, I want to introduce our first speaker, Ashley Cash. She will be sharing some valuable insights on how to interview like a pro in this crazy job market. And after, we will have a Q&A session where you guys can ask questions that you might have. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, and I will try to scroll up and we will try to answer as much as we could tonight. All right. So without further ado, Ashley. Hello, Ashley.
Hi,
Hey.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Thank you so much for being here. Yay!
Thank you for having me. I know, right? Well, so speaking about like tech and all that, I have a new microphone that I'm like new to using or whatever. I didn't upgrade it. Y'all got me a little lapel mic. So if
yes.
you
Okay, she's fancy.
yes, exactly. Okay, get with it.
Right?
So if at any point you can't hear me or you can't hear me very well, just let me know. Okay.
Yes,
And then I'll switch
absolutely.
over because I want to make sure this is a value add. Yes, you got slides on the screen. So let's get into it, right? I am so
Yes.
grateful to be with you guys. I think absolutely like not seeing, virtual career fairs on YouTube. And it's crazy, right? Because like we're all online all the time. So I think this is just such a great platform. And I hope that I'm a value add to the community and tonight. But enough talking. Let's get into nailing the interview. Okay. So you've got the interview. How do you go into any interview scenario and come out with an offer? So if you are ready for me to get into that, just give me a quick yes in the chat. And if you want to add some razzle dazzle, you can put yeah with some exclamation points. But like, let me know that you're ready to learn how to go into any interview and get the offer.
Yes,
So
let us
keep
know,
an eye
guys.
on the chat.
All
And
right.
let's make sure. I think there's like a just slight lag. But I see it. Okay, I see you guys. I see some yes. So let's get into it. All right. So let me advance my slide.
Yes, you guys are
There
ready.
we go. All right. So there we go. Slides are advancing. So a little bit about me. You guys already heard my bio, but like you already heard, had an explosive career with some big brands that you know and love, like Coca-Cola, Whirlpool, and Globe Life. I had the opportunity to do a lot of hiring, sometimes firing, and leading teams. But those experiences afforded me the opportunity to get the inside scoop on how hiring and salary decisions are made. And after, I don't know, a midlife career crisis, 2 babies, and a dream that I really felt was put on my heart by the Lord, I created coaching and courses to teach clients how to get hired and get paid. And I also do resume writing. I saw somebody in the chat asked about me taking a look at your resume, and I would love to do that. You can visit my website or connect with me on LinkedIn for more info on how I can do that for you. So about my clients, they are mid to executive level professionals. These folks are high earners and high achievers, or desire to be those things. And they come from a host of industries, all the way from HR to data scientists to executives, marketing, you name it, right? My clients do it. And so, and you can see it as a gift on there. They have the one thing in common is they want to get hired and they want to get paid. So you're in the right place if your good job and salary are no longer good enough. And I know in today's market, you may be one of the folks who are now actually looking for a good job and salary. So if that's you, you're in the right place. Tell me the one, give me the number on the screen that best represents where you are right now, and just choose one. But give me a 1 if you hate interviewing because you never know what to say. Put a 2 in the chat if you leave interviews feeling good but never get an offer. You know, you vibed with the team, you thought it went well, you thought they liked you, but then no offer. Give me a 3 if this best represents you. You want to nail your next interview. Number 4 in the chat if you want to have some options. No more feeling like, pick me, right? Like you want to be the one making the choice. Or number 5, if you might be a certified rambler and rabbit hole wanderer, right?
Ooh.
So I could maybe be a little bit of a rambler. Tell me the number that represents you the best. And then we've got folks, okay, we got number 6, a new option that, hey, I haven't even gotten an interview. And so if you are here and you want to learn more about interviewing for when the interview comes, you're in the right place. If you are here and you are having trouble landing interviews, you're still in the right place because I'm a resume writer. So if you're not getting interviews, it might be your resume. So I might drop a few gems around that as well. Okay. But it sounds like everyone here is absolutely ready to learn how to interview better. So a couple quick things what I'm going to share with you tonight. We're going to talk about how to prep for an interview. Some of it will probably seem obvious, but some others may be just some good reminders. I'm going to share with you what interviewers are looking for. And that's probably, the most beneficial thing that I'm going to share with you tonight is what exactly is an interviewer looking for, and not necessarily what do they want to hear. That's not what I said. I didn't say what do interviewers want to hear. Sorry, I'm going to move my camera down a little bit. I didn't say what are they trying to hear, right? Because nobody hears a robot. Well, there may be a few bots, I don't know. But for the most part, all of us are human beings. And so understanding, hey, what is that audience that I'm going to be sitting in front of looking to hear is going to help you create your money stories, which we're going to talk about tonight too, to help you get the offer. And then we're going to go over questions everyone hates. So as I get going, tell me in the chat the one interview question that you absolutely hate. Let me just see if I'm going to cover it tonight. Tell me in the chat the interview question that you hate, just one. And then we're going to also talk about the methodology I use for my 6-figure professional and executive clients that help them land high-paying jobs at high-profile companies. And that is the story method, which, now a lot of times you'll hear people talk about the STAR method. If you're not familiar with the STAR method, no big deal. Google that later if you want. But the story method is superior, and I'll tell you why in a few minutes. All right, so first things first, let's talk about interview prep checklists, especially if you're going to be interviewing virtual. However, these tips apply to in-person interviews as well. So either way, the first thing you want to do is test out the platform. If you are going to be interviewing on like Teams or Google Meet or Zoom, These platforms oftentimes will have updates. I know Zoom is notorious for not loading properly. And so you
Mm.
want to test out the platform, make sure you know where the settings are, how to get off mute, all those things a day or two beforehand. If you're particularly nervous about the tech, or you're known for not being as like tech savvy, you could possibly even ask the interviewer for a quick tech check where just you can log into the platform and make sure that your camera is operating properly. Your audio sounds good. Because what you don't want is day of, and I mean, this happens to the best of us. Day of, and you're like, wait, my Zoom client won't open, Teams won't download. I thought I could do this from my phone and I can't, right? Like all those things that like heighten the situation, they give you anxiety, they throw you off your game, and they don't always allow you to give that good first impression that you want, right? Especially when you're going for high paying roles or heck, any role, you want to come in like a professional, cool, calm, collected, um, competent with the technology. So I cannot urge you enough to test out the platform, download anything you need to download, update your apps. If you're going to be doing it from your phone, that's going to save you just so much nerves and get you so many points with the interviewer right out of the gate. The second thing is get dressed and put on your cape. Now, what I mean by that is, I know, especially if it's a virtual interview or even an in-person interview, um, the inclination to maybe be casual, but as the kids say, put your stuff on, right? Put on the outfit that makes you feel like $1,000,000, right? Like I would not wear anything that makes me feel self-conscious. That's a little bit too tight. Something you're going to be constantly tugging at. And when I say put on your cape, meaning what makes you feel like, your best you? What makes you feel 10 feet tall? Because even though we're going to be talking a lot about, what to say and how to navigate an interview, feeling confident, being dressed well. I know for me, something that makes me feel confident is a red lip and a couple sprays of my favorite perfume. Like I have those two things and I feel like I can take on the world. So whatever it is that makes you feel, Miriam says she's got a hype playlist. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like I need to rap some trap songs on my way there. My inner
Right? Get that energy up.
Yes, to get your energy up. So whatever
Mhm.
your case, in Miriam's case, it's a hype playlist. In my case, it's a red lip, right? An interview is not the day to start experimenting because it's not going to make you feel
Oh,
confident.
yes.
You're probably not going to get the look that you're going for, right? It's not the time to try. It's like Thanksgiving, right? Like it's not the day to try your new mac and cheese
No.
recipe. Instead, who you
Exactly.
are, show up how you show up in an outfit that represents you, that you look and feel good in. It doesn't have to be brand new, it doesn't have to be designer, but it does have to be something that represents you well. So just the question in the chat said, is it necessary to put on makeup? Absolutely not. As long as you're moisturized, got on a little chapstick so you're not crusty, wear and look how you feel comfortable, right? If more than anything, you want to be well groomed, but yeah, if you don't wear makeup, don't put it on. So the other thing is, again, understanding that if you're virtual, especially having your phone or your device or iPad, whatever you're using, have that charged and possibly even consider a backup device. Like if you know your device is janky or prone to, mess up or whatever, if you end up getting kicked out, have a backup device if and where possible so that you can jump right back in. But the biggest thing, especially if you're going to be doing your interview, let's say from your phone or your computer, have it charged. And if it's not charged, have a charger handy and set up before. The last thing you want to do is be on an interview and like sentence or make question and get put off. And you
The
might be
battery's
wondering, actually, yes, you might be thinking to yourself, actually, you say that like someone that's happened to and has, right? Imagine being a business owner inviting like 1,000 people to a webinar and your darn laptop dies
Oh
during
my
the webinar.
goodness. No.
Yeah, don't be like me. Be better than me. Okay, so these
Me
are really
too.
experiences. And it's so easy, right, to just get caught up in
Mm-hmm.
the hoopla and not, and miss these things. But I'm bringing these up again because these are what I consider like the easy things that can throw you off your game, but also easy things that can help you stand out in the world. Good lighting and clean your camera, right? So again, if you're going to be using a webcam or your phone camera, make sure you have good lighting and clean your camera beforehand. And if you're going to be conducting a virtual interview in your car, because maybe you're at work or you're on the go, just let the interviewer know ahead of time. I personally think it's absolutely okay if you need to conduct a virtual interview in your car to do so, but let them know, say, hey, I'm going to be conducting this interview during normal, business hours, my normal work hours. And so I'll be in my car, I'll be quiet, it'll be secluded, but I just don't want you to be thrown off by that. And they'll be fine with it. The other thing is researching the company and the interviewer. So you don't want to be that person where the person asks you something like, hey, what do you know about the company? Or what do you know about what we do? And you're like, what company is this again? Right? Like it's just, it's a little bit unprofessional. And it also shows a lack of interest. So take a few minutes, Google the company, Google what they do, and make sure that you're prepared to talk a little bit about why you are interested in the company. And you can also do the same with your interviewers. You can look them up on LinkedIn or connect with them on LinkedIn and just read a little bit about them, their background. I'm not saying you need to, do a book report on them, but just having some quick facts like, oh, hey, I see you've been with the company a number of years, or you went to this school, or you're from this, hometown. Anything that you can use to create a connection point with the interviewer is a good thing. Almost done here. Prep at least 3 questions to ask, whether at the end or throughout the interview. The reason that you want to have questions prepped, well, one, you're interviewing them as much as they are interviewing you. So think about, hey, what is it that I need to know to make a decision to come and work here? And then the other thing is it shows interest. It's no different than in our personal relationships when we meet someone new and it's like they don't ever ask me anything about me or like what I'm into or nothing, right? And so it's easy to feel like, okay, this person must not obviously be very interested. So prepare 3 questions, even if it's a question like J.K. Shea put in the chat about the company being faith-based. Typically, a faith-based company, you'll find that on their website. They're typically going to be pretty loud and proud about it. You can also look at like their vision and mission statement. But that's absolutely a question that you can ask in an interview. And then the last thing is know your money stories, which I'm going to teach you guys more about here in just a second. But nobody is an expert on you and what you do and what you can do more so than you. And the interview is the opportunity for you to tell and convince the other people sitting across from you who you are and what you can do. Okay, so to illustrate that, I went. Okay, here we go. To illustrate that, I think visually, if you think about an interview or think about what the interviewers are looking for, this is the perfect visual for that. They are looking for you to connect the dots between your skills, your experiences, and your results to that job. You're the only person that can do that. So they're going to ask you questions, but it's up to you to really create that bridge or connect the dots for them that proves to them that you can do the job. There's literally no other way for you to get the job if you don't connect the dots for them. And when I say connect the dots, meaning that you can tie what you've done, your education, your experience, your accomplishments, and tie that directly to what is going to be asked of you at that job. If you do that, you will get the job every single time. Because what you're going to do is the interviewer is going to start to think, I want them to come and do that here. I need someone that can do that or has done that on this team. So that's how this works. All right, now this is a slide you're going to want to take a screenshot of. If you are wanting to prepare those money stories, right, meaning the things that get interviewers excited, the things that showcase your skill, if you're going to start taking inventory of those things and putting together those money stories, this is how you're going to do it. Okay, this is literally the framework. So again, screenshot this for your next interview. So you want to be thinking about, okay, if I look at the job description or the job reviews or people in my network that have this job, what is it exactly that I'm going to be doing, right? The job description is going to tell you. And then you want to be thinking about, okay, when I think about my skills, my experiences, my education, what exactly did I do? Not the list of tasks that I had to check off every day, but what did I do to impact the company by way of people, projects, or processes, right? So we already want to be thinking about our skills and experiences just the same way that a company is thinking about what they need in terms of outcome. And then the last thing is you want to be thinking about the so what? What was the benefit? If you find yourself, whether on your resume or in an interview, talking about a task, right? Like, oh, I was assigned to do this, or I come in every day, I run my reports. That's cool. But the people that get hired are the people that can showcase a tangible outcome for the company. Now, I already know that some people might be thinking, okay, well, I'm not in a role where there's a lot of metrics, or I'm not in a role that I'm privy to the outcomes, and that's okay because you can always tie a so what um, to what you do, right? So in that example we talked about around running reports every day. Well, what's the so what? Why do you run reports every day, right? So you may not know the amount of revenue that those reports help generate, but you do know that those revenues perhaps are how another team gets their workflow for the day, or that report helps determine how many people need to be scheduled for the day, right? So you got to always be thinking about, okay, I do this task that I've been assigned, but what's the business benefit of it? And so you can use language like increased or decreased or other metrics. But if you don't have that, don't freak out. Don't worry about it. Just know what the business outcome or the so what behind it is. Mm-hmm. Okay. So now let's talk a little bit about, well, actually, how do I know what to say? So we already talked a little bit about this. The first thing is inventory your skills. What are you good at? What have you done? What outcomes have you helped achieve? Now, if you wait until the night before an interview, or you go into an interview and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna just leave. Like, I'm gonna just right off the dome. I'm gonna freestyle it. It doesn't work, right? And we know it doesn't work because we get nervous, we get tongue tied. And if you're anything like me, I'll have have an argument with my husband, and then 3 days later be like, "This is what I should have said."
Right? Oh,
tell
boy.
me if you can relate in the chat. You know, you have a same way. You know, I'll be thinking about what I should have said to you guys in this live a couple days later. And so the way that you go into an interview, not only get the job, but make sure you say what it is that you want to say or say what you need, is to prepare ahead of time. And again, I don't mean like the night before. I mean like now, start thinking about what am I good at? What skills can I lead with? And then the next thing you're going to do is put a story to those skills, right? What do those skills look like at work? So that's when I talk about like the money stories. I want you to come up with a couple examples of, hey, when I did this at work, this good thing happened. And what we want next. So, for example, I saw somebody in the chat say they wanted to get into tech. I don't remember exactly the type of role, but think about, okay, just count that lend themselves to the job that I want to do, right? And what's the story around that? What was the context, or what was the problem that we were asked to solve? What were the actions that I took? And finally, right, make yourself the hero of the story. What did I do to get it done and also get results? So you always want to be thinking about it in, hey, I'm not just doing this because they told me to, but how is what I'm doing impacting the business? If you connect the dots for an interviewer like that, when I tell you, you will have more offers than you will know what to do with, because people frankly don't. They get in interviews, they ramble, they talk too long about the wrong things, but they never drive it home to say, I did this thing and that resulted in this outcome. I'm telling you, like they'll be like begging you to start if you just connect the dots. For that. Okay, so now let's talk about questions everyone hates. And I saw a couple of these in the chat, so I'm going to give you a framework. Hopefully this one will be screenshotable. I think I saw someone say the green wasn't rendering very well. But tell me about yourself is the question to nail. So just again, right? Like this is the one you don't want to freestyle. And believe it or not, hiring managers guilty can make decisions about whether they want to hire you or they want to continue listening to you in that first interaction, in that first tell me about yourself. So if you come out of the gate and you're like, well, my name is Ashley and I live in Dallas, right? Because that's not what they're asking you. They're saying, tell me about yourself, but really they're saying, tell me the skills, experiences, and outcomes that you have that are going to make me want to hire you. That's what they're asking. They're just using, that generic question. But this is the question you want to get right. And this is the one you want to prepare ahead of time. So let me give you the framework. Again, hopefully this is rendering in a way that you can screenshot, but this is how you want to start it. So you don't have to start with, well, first my name is Ashley, and I grew up in Dallas, and I've got 2 little girls. Nope. This is the framework. You're going to start with, well, I've been in the digital marketing industry for X number of years. And in that, I've had experiences ranging from completing projects to SEO or working on projects with wellness clients, right? So I'm just kind of filling in the blanks as I go. But that's your framework. Now, do you see the difference between starting with, my name, where I'm from, because that's allowing you to kind of like get your brain, your thoughts together? Get straight to it. Just prepare this ahead of time, and they're already going to be interested. Oh, you've been in my industry for a while, or you've worked on these type of projects, or you have experience with these type of clients. Then you're going to say something like, I'm most proud of the work I did on X, right? That's that money story. That's an example that you're going to give them where they're going to be like, whoa, we do that here. We could use somebody that could accomplish that for us. But you're going to give that specific example, again, related to the type of job that you're seeking. And then you're going to put a bow on it, pretty Tiffany bow, and say, I'm interested in this company or I'm interested in this role because. So that's how you're going to tie it all together so that they know that you are researched and that you know that why you're fit for the role. All right, y'all, bear with me. Let me take a sip of water.
That's good. Good stuff. I love what you mentioned about the money story. It's connecting it together, creating a storyline that will draw them in and get to know you at the same time. That's great.
That's it. That's money story. That's money for them, and it's money for you. That's why I call it.
Yes.
Yes.
Love it.
All right, let's keep going. What are your salary requirements? I saw someone also put that in the chat. They hate that question. Here's another one. You guys, I'm so sorry. I don't know why the text is not rendering very well, but I'll read it to you so you can jot it down or catch the replay. Again, my apologies, but you can say something like, I'm looking for a position that's the best fit for my skills and expertise where I can make an impact. I would expect the salary would align with market value. And that's a whole nother conversation about why you want to answer it this way. And then you want to answer or finish your statement with, can you share the salary range with me? Now, I know we don't have time to get into negotiations, but essentially you want to get them to share the salary range with you so that you don't accidentally lowball yourself and anchor any future negotiations with a low number. That's all I'll say about that. But this is the script that you can use. Next slide, bear with me. If they press, because sometimes they will, like, no, just give me a number, you can then follow up with, well, I'm not sure if I know enough about the role and key deliverables to say right now, but I'd love to continue the conversation. What is the salary range that's been set for this position? So you're going to ask another direct question. Again, this is not a salary negotiation call, but sometimes people will try and play like, oh, we don't really know what the pay is. Yes, you do. Because the way that job recs work in corporate and most entities is you say, hey, I want to hire someone. This is the budget that I'm willing to pay them. You get it approved, and then it goes to the recruiter to post online, etc. So I'm just giving you that little bonus gem around. They know. They're just
No.
trying to get you to say a number so that again they can anchor you sometimes lower than the range, right? But everybody loves a sale. Everybody loves a coupon. So just be mindful of that. They might also try to anchor you with what you currently make. So if you're asked that question, either what are you currently making or what your salary requirements are, the two prompts I provided are the way that you answer that question. And then the last one is, why are you leaving your job? Now, this is my personal, this is the one that
Oh.
that I hate. Toxic. I hated my team and everything they stand for. Right? So say that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Do not say that. Even if that's the truth. Even if that's how you feel. Don't say that. But I personally hate that question for that reason. But these are the things that you can say, right? You can say, I'm looking for career growth. That I've had these are just options, right? You don't say all of these, but choose one. That I have always had a long-term goal of working for this company. I'm taking for new challenges. So the last role that I held in a corporate setting, day ever comes where I'm looking for like a full-time role, I'm absolutely going to share with them that that season had ended. You know, I had maxed out what I had wanted to do there. And so now I'm looking for some new challenges. For me, and I'm totally okay with saying like I was ready for something new, bigger, better, etc. So those are some ways that you can answer the questions that everyone hates. Environment or the stand, because it just ends up being like kind of a red flag, even if it were true, right? It's like you just don't want to insert that kind of energy here. But it's almost like if you meet someone new and they're always complaining about like their you crazy. You know what I mean? Like, right? It's kind of like that. Why you don't want to talk about leaving a bad situation. So that concludes my presentation for tonight. I'm so sorry that I'm going to blame it on the platform, okay? Because my internet is A1. But I'm so sorry that some of you experienced some buffering. Hopefully, the replay or the upload will be a little bit smoother. But I've got some information here on the screen. If you would like a complimentary resume review, no cost, no catch, I'll drop that in the chat. And then if anyone wants to work together, whether on interview coaching or a resume, I would absolutely love to work with you. And so there's a discount code in there to get $100 off. And so you can absolutely take advantage of that. I just want to thank all of you for having me, for your attentiveness, for your questions and participation. And thank you, boss from home, Miss Desiree, for
thank you so
inviting
much for being here. I'm so excited. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yes, it's a topic that we haven't covered on these virtual job fairs. Or even period on the channel. So it's really exciting just to know that side of the hiring process. And I think someone else mentioned too that like you basically covered a lot of what they were questioning within just 10 minutes. So thank you.
Nice.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right, loves. Well, I will jump off. I know we have another speaker. I'm not sure why I'm getting this like fail to post thing, but I'll stay on a little bit and see if I can get it to post again. But you guys are the best, and God bless you, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, Ashley. We appreciate you so much. Yes. All right. Well, yes, guys, did you enjoy Ashley? Ashley and Cash. She gave us a whole lot within the time that she spoke to us. And I hope that you guys are more clear when it comes to the interview process. I will be trying to do like kind of a recap of the things that we mentioned, seeing that some of you guys weren't able to read the screen, or screenshot the screen. I will try my best to go through this video when it's done, take some notes, and have it available for you guys. All right. So, you guys, I get a lot of requests in my email for like a free review, and I have no time to go through all of them. So I will be sending you guys, if you send me anything through email about resumes, because I'm not doing resumes at this very moment, I will reroute you to Ashley and Cash. All right. My services are currently on hold, but I hope that you guys can take great advantage of what she's got going. All right. So, yes. So now we have our next speaker here. He is Terrell Turner. Like I mentioned, he is a New York Times featured CFO and CPA. He's been recognized as one of 40 under 40, and he basically simplifies accounting and finance for law firms. He's got a lot to share with us today, so I will be bringing him right on the platform. Hello.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. Are you copying me with the glasses thing?
No, these are actually my normal glasses.
Oh, yeah, me too. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for your patience. I really appreciate you being here. I know that you have a lot to share with us. So, yeah, just tell us more about who you are, how you got into what you are currently in. Take it away.
So my background is I grew up in a family that was not I guess you say, a professional or business career family. I grew up in a predominantly military family, grandfathers in the military, father, uncles, and so much. And so going the professional route of finding and navigating the career field was completely new to me. So I jumped into it many years ago and really landed in accounting and pursued a career in accounting. Worked for several Fortune 100 companies, several multi-billion-dollar companies, working in the U.S., worked a little bit down in South America, lived there for some time, and came back to the U.S., did many finance leadership roles, and worked for a startup. And now I actually run my own accounting firm, and we currently have 8 employees in the company, and having a lot of fun doing that, plus a ton of fun creating content. I work with a lot of software companies, kind of as an influencer in the accounting and finance space, as well as in the legal industry as well.
Great. Awesome. Well, I mean, that's amazing. So, you're in accounting and bookkeeping. What caused you to take interest in that? And can you explain the difference? Because for a person like me who doesn't quite know the difference, or the exact, I guess, distinctions, I kind of just put them together and just kind of think that they both correlate. So could you tell us more about that? And your path towards where you are right now.
Yeah, so back when I was in school, I had no idea exactly what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do something in business, and back then, what people were telling me is like, hey, if you're not completely sure what you want to do, accounting could be a good path because there will always be a need for accountants. And since I've graduated, years ago, I'm like, that has definitely been very true. There's always been a need for accountants. And so I went down that path really looking to say, okay, not only could I get a career, but I can also pick up a skill that could be useful in so many different aspects. And so I went down the path of accounting just really because of the opportunity that it opened up. Now, to answer your question on the distinction, when it comes down to bookkeeping and accounting, a lot of times the words get used simultaneously. So I would say it's one of these interesting things where it's like accounting can actually include some of the tasks that you would do in bookkeeping, but bookkeeping does not include all of the tasks you do in accounting. So the way I would think about it is bookkeeping is a bit more kind of the entry level clerical work to where you don't need a degree to do it. A lot of people who do bookkeeping don't have a degree, and I know many people who own bookkeeping companies who don't have a degree. It wasn't something that they studied. They took a training course that taught them the skills of bookkeeping, of being able to reconcile accounting, bank statements and credit card information, and then being able to use some of the softwares like QuickBooks or like Zero or something like that. Like they learned the software through a very inexpensive course, and they were able to really start working in that field and find opportunities. Now, when it comes to accounting is where it starts to get a little bit more technical, to where there are some things you do have to understand more than just the basics. Like you do have to kind of understand how accounting works. Now, historically, you really needed a college degree to be able to get into that. But now, I mean, there is this phenomenal thing that's going on in the accounting industry that right now there's probably about 1.5 million accounting jobs right now. And on average, the statistics are showing that usually there's about 300,000 open jobs every year. So, all of the accounting jobs we aren't able to fill them all. And so companies have really started really questioning, like, do you really need a degree to actually do this? Or do you just need the skills to actually do it? And so you're starting to see a lot more companies really opening their perspective and saying, hey, you know what? We're no longer requiring that you have a degree, because we need people who have the willingness and the interest and some basics of the skills to be able to get into, the field of accounting. And I think that because there is such a shortage, the opportunity is just only getting bigger. And also something that I've learned is that, within the accounting field, I would say about 70% of the people who have like additional certifications within the field of accounting are over the age of retirement. So you're probably looking over the next 10 years that gap is just going to get even bigger, to where the opportunity for people who go into the field of accounting is only going to continue getting bigger, just based on the way things are going. And to be completely honest, AI won't be able to close the gap faster than it's growing.
That's good to know. Yes. And I love the fact that, like you mentioned, a lot of employers are looking at skills rather than having a degree for this particular industry now. So and the gap that is opening is allowing people to jump in basically without the degree, by gathering up skills and knowledge about bookkeeping and accounting and so forth. So I know that a lot of people here, if you guys are here often, you hear me talk about course careers. So can you talk more about course careers and how it actually can land? Because you're affiliated with course careers, can you enlighten us more on how we can use that as a tool to get in and fill this gap and get a high paying career? Just let us know.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, a lot of companies are really starting to open their perspectives and really be open to people who don't have the degree, as long as they have the knowledge and the willingness to do the work and to continue learning. And so, the team at Course Careers reached out to me because, like I said, I run an accounting firm. I do a lot of content creation and speaking, within the industry for so many different companies. And so they reached out and said, hey, we need some help because we see that there's a big opportunity in accounting. We need someone that can teach, accounting. And so I worked with them on creating an accounting course. And I said, okay, all right, what are the skills that you need to actually land a entry level position in the field of accounting? And I looked at it not only from just a person who's done accounting, I have an undergraduate and a master's degree in accounting, but I said, what if I can take the essence of what I learned, what costs thousands and thousands of dollars? What if I can take that and then I can create a course to give other people an opportunity to not have to take on the debt, but they can still learn the skills to be able to have an opportunity to get into the field of accounting. And what I realize is a lot of people who don't have a degree, but they get the basic skills, they go into accounting, they may end up working for a company and the company will pay for them to go back to school, which then is like you can get the best of both worlds to where you can get your foot in the door with a career and then also have another company pay for you to get that advanced education to just allow your trajectory and your growth in a career like accounting to just really take off to another level. And I would say, as a person who deals with finance and accounting, like I would highly recommend a person doing that route because it is expensive to go to college and to get a degree. I am not a huge fan of people having to really, start a career off with this weight of a tremendous amount of debt because I think it really limits how much you can actually enjoy this new career path that you're on when you're starting holding a huge bag of debt as you're just really trying to work to pay your bills. But I think people who are taking an alternative route, and that's what I loved about, the idea that Course Careers came is like, well, I'm glad to partner with you guys to create this course. And as I said, I run my own firm and we have 9 employees to where I would say, I think only 2 of my employees actually have an accounting degree. The rest of the people that I hired don't have accounting degrees. And so it wasn't necessarily like a course I just created for other people. It's like I actually live in people who I've taken through the same training. And I know a ton of other accounting firms that are, struggling to find good people. And so working with Course Careers was a way for me to create the tool that I needed to solve the talent problem in my own firm and to help other companies be able to find, hey, you can see who has taken the Course Careers course, and people who take that, that Course Careers course, they can put that certificate that, hey, I've taken the accounting course. And not only in that is you're going to get a lot of hands-on kind of exposure to, what happens in the field of accounting. And one of the things we're also seeing is there are some people who didn't necessarily want to go into a career in accounting. They wanted to go into, other careers, but they were told, hey, in order for you to move up in your career, you need to have some basic understanding of accounting. So we've seen people who have wanted to take the course because they're like, hey, this course gives me the basics I need to be able to move up into management in my career field elsewhere. So, it's been a great partnership to be able to create this tool and to really simplify it because I didn't want people to have to go through, the unnecessary level of technical education. Because I'll be honest with you, I spent like 5 years in college going through studying accounting through universities. We probably could have cut out about 3.5 years of it and got straight to the point.
Oh, that sucks. But I love that you're creating it for others where they're not having to go through that. That's
Absolutely.
Great.
Absolutely. And I think it's, it's something that where, what I also love with the partnership with Course Careers is like people who take the course, they also have, mentors who are in the field of accounting that can help guide them. Like we have a Discord group where people can list their questions and they can ask other students who have taken the course, or they can really be part of a community to where it's not just, hey, you're studying at home, but you have access to mentors that you can talk to, and you also can talk to other people who are already in the field. And in the course, I do about a 30-minute kind of series where I teach on how to prepare for the interview, where I literally just lay out, hey, here are the questions that you are going to be asked. Here are the questions you need to be prepared to answer. And I walk through examples on, hey, here's how you can answer these questions, because what I didn't want was people to learn the skills and to apply for a job, get to the interview, and not be confident enough to be able to speak to what they've learned. Because I would say if you've gone through the course and you've gone through like the exercises, the quizzes and stuff that are in the course, like you're going to be prepared to be able to speak well to the knowledge of what you know to really make a great impression in an interview.
Yes, great. Okay, so what does this, for people that are interested in getting into accounting, bookkeeping, I know that they're two different things, but what does the typical day in the life look like for someone who is working in bookkeeping or accounting? Just to give people a nice understanding of a general understanding of what to expect in this career field.
So when it comes down to bookkeeping, really what that usually looks like on a day-to-day basis is, let's say, you're doing bookkeeping for a company. What you're really looking at is the money coming in, money going out, and really helping them understand and kind of organize, because there's a ton of transactions going on. You're going to have access to the bank account. You can see the money coming in, you can see the money going out. And what you're doing is you're kind of classifying, like, what was this charge? What was this for? You're actually having conversations with people who are approving, the spending, or you're having conversations with people helping them understand, like, hey, here's what we said we were going to spend. Here's how much money we actually spent. And you're really helping them get better clarity on, how the money is coming in and how the money is going out. Now, when you get into, like kind of the work environment, traditionally it used to be you would go into an office building, you would be there. Now, people work remote. Like for example, like the bookkeepers on my team, I have bookkeepers in different countries around the world, to where, all of the work can be done remote. And so you're starting to see, that work environment change. A lot of people who do bookkeeping work from home, and depending on, like say, the type of company you're working for, the work hours a lot of times can be very flexible, to where people don't have to be in at exactly a certain time, to where there's a lot more flexibility in the career opportunities and the options that people can pursue with bookkeeping. And then when you get into accounting, like an accounting position is going to be a little bit more technical, to where you're going to be probably doing things like, let's say, for example, tax preparation is probably one of the most common ones, where that's where you're meeting with people, and you're going to start off with helping collect information, where whoever the company is going to train you on their processes. And what you're doing is you're helping the clients that you do tax returns for, you're helping them go through the early stages of that process. And then you're going to have a manager or a supervisor who kind of helps you understand what that process is and learn what the process is, to where, let's say, 6 months to a year, you can start to do a lot more of it on your own. But what you're really doing is helping people really go through that, tax filing or tax reporting process. So you're interacting with people constantly and helping them understand what's happening to their money, and then also getting them ready to actually file their tax returns and tax reporting.
Right. Great. I mean, this all comes just in time for tax season. Season is coming up very soon, so I always see jobs opening Intuit,
Hmm.
and these different, tax jobs basically popping up for bookkeeping, accounting, and a lot of people ask, how do I get into it? So what you're
Yeah.
sharing is great information just to enter into the career path, just having that understanding. So what are some skills and knowledge that would need to someone would need to learn before being able to land a job within the bookkeeping or accounting? Um, yeah.
Yeah, so I would say the biggest skill that I would say is organization. So people who are can be organized, because a lot of what you're going to be doing is looking at tons of information, and you're just kind of help organizing it. So a person who can stay organized and is willing to operate within certain deadlines. So I would say that's probably one of your first skills. The second one, which I think is also extremely important, is just a willingness to learn. Because whenever you're going into the field of accounting, like, I know one of the things that a lot of people get nervous about is, well, the tax laws are constantly changing. And one of the things that I always tell people is, if you're just going into to the field of accounting, and you're just going in and you go in for, let's say, a tax position, like, you're not going to be the person who has to make the final decisions. Whatever company is hiring you, there's going to be a training process, and there's going to be some development and a lot of support for you, because there are a ton of experts who spend their time learning the ins and outs, and then turning that into a process that they can kind of teach all of the younger professionals as they're going in. So a lot of accounting firms tend to have, the have good training and development processes. So one of the things that I always tell people is, when you go into accounting, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be left to kind of figure things out on your own. There are going to be other people who can kind of walk you through things, help you understand stuff, and they're going to provide additional training to help you get comfortable and confident. And plus, all of the work you do is going to be reviewed by a supervisor or reviewed by a manager. So 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be kind of left on an island by yourself to try to figure things out on your own. So that's why I say that openness to learn and to ask questions is probably the second skill that I would say after organization. And then I will say, a lot of people do get nervous and think like, oh my gosh, I'm not that great at math.
Yeah.
And I will say is that you don't have to be a expert in math. I mean, like, to be completely honest, I mean, most accountants use calculators, or they use spreadsheets to do the calculations anyway. So most accountants are not that great at math themselves, because they're constantly using the tools around them. So I would say is, you do have to have some level of comfort of using the tools around you. Because what I will tell you is, one of the most annoying things is if you're talking to an accountant and there's a question about numbers, or a calculation comes up, and they're trying to do it in their head while they're sitting in front of a calculator. It's like, just
Um,
put the numbers in the calculator. It's just like, I don't want you trying to figure it out. It's going to take you longer to try to figure it out in your head than it would be for you to just type the numbers in the calculator and then give me what the answer is. And that's a lot of what we do. And I always tell people is, accounting is one of those skills where you learn to use the tools and the resources around you to do your job. And it's not one where you have to know all of the stuff in your head. It's use the tools around you to do your job.
Oh, interesting. All right. Well, we do have a few questions here. I don't want to miss them. But okay, let's see. This one here. Does accounting have
Mhm.
continuing education credits that are required when you have a degree?
Yeah, so the answer to that is no, it is not. The continuing education comes in if you get a certification. So you can get a degree in accounting, but there isn't any required ongoing training. But if you become, let's say, a certified public accountant, meaning you get an additional license, there are additional credits you'll need to maintain your license. Or if you become an enrolled agent, which is a certification that, or a credential that the IRS offers, then you'll need additional training for that. And I will say is it's becoming easier and easier to actually get those, that additional training. Like, in fact, like, I host a podcast that talks about business and finance, and we have it to where people can actually earn their education credits by listening to our podcast, and they take a very
Wow.
short quiz to
Thank you.
where there are so many different ways that you can actually continue to get the education. But if you just have a degree without a license, you are not required to get additional education if you don't have like a license or a certification that you're trying to maintain.
All right, awesome.
But good question.
Yes, absolutely. One other question. Okay. Oh, okay. So someone asked how high of a keystroke is required. I don't. Well, you can answer that. You know better than I do.
Yeah, so I would say when it comes down to bookkeeping, to be honest with you, you spend very little time actually really, I guess you would say using the full keyboard. Like, and I'm not sure like what kind of keyboard you may have in front of you, but you spend a whole lot more time on the number pad. And so there's about what if you include zero, there's 10 digits on the number pad. So you spend a whole lot more time on the number pad. And even with a lot of the softwares that you may be using when you're doing accounting, a lot of it is going to be in the program where like there's AI built into the program to where you're just kind of really reviewing and approving what is in the program. So I would say the keystroke count has not been something that is actually a pretty high requirement. Like, from a lot of the hiring that I've done, I've never asked anyone what their keystroke requirement is. And I've talked to other firms and I've worked at other companies. No one has ever really asked me about my keystroke count when it came down to an accounting and finance job.
Great. Okay, so you don't need to type fast in accounting.
Yes.
And I saw another question. Someone asked, so where is it? Oh, any recommendations on where to take classes for bookkeeping?
Yeah, so this will be a good question. And I would say is if you're trying to just learn the basics of bookkeeping and accounting, the course that I did with Course Careers, I think is a great option to go take that course. It's less than $600 to take that course, and we go from the very basics of accounting and walking you through, giving you examples, use cases, and such. Which I think if you're trying to learn the actual bookkeeping accounting skills, then that is a great course. Now, if you're trying to learn, bookkeeping on a specific software, like let's say you're trying to learn bookkeeping in the QuickBooks tool. So QuickBooks or Intuit offers, great courses for that. Like, you can go to their website and you can see what types of certification that they have, because different softwares function differently. So just about all the major softwares are going to have like their own certification, because it's going to their software or their training is going to walk you through how to use their specific tool. And then I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of great things you can learn from YouTube. Is just going to YouTube, learning. I mean, and I would say, as a person who, deals with money, finance, I always tell people, utilize the free resources as much as you can. And then when you need that extra layer of information, then I would look at making an investment and, making a actual purchase into something that's going to give you that extra step. But I would start with some of the free stuff. I mean, I would say if you're trying to learn QuickBooks, two great people on YouTube. I think friends of mine, Hector Garcia, has a ton of great insight on teaching you how to use QuickBooks. And then also Veronica Wasick, another friend of mine, she has tons of great content on there teaching you how to use, QuickBooks, because there have been a lot of people who have watched their YouTube videos and been able to pick up jobs on their own, or to be able to, get clients. And some of them have built a bookkeeping business just based off of what they learned from studying those courses.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I mean, I will, I was busy looking for the link for Course Careers to drop in the chat, but also the channels that you mentioned, I know people would also be interested in that. Okay, so
Yep.
the first one that you mentioned was, I'm sorry.
Hector Garcia.
Hector Garcia.
Yeah, and
yes, I'll
what
let you
I
do
can
that.
do is I'll drop it in the chat. So I'm just
Yeah.
gonna pull up his page, and then I'll just go and drop it in the chat. So Hector Garcia, QuickBooks Online. And the good thing about, like I said, a lot of these tools is as you start to pick up the skills for some of these things, that once you learn some of the basics around accounting, like, it becomes transferable to other companies. And it's not just, hey, you can only use this one skill at this one company. It does start to open the door for, other opportunities. So I think that becomes a huge plus.
Absolutely. I didn't know that you could, like, there were some jobs that actually required skills in bookkeeping in order to progress into whichever field that they're advertising. So I thought that was really interesting. All right.
Yeah,
So
and what you find is, I would say, to that last point, I mean, I think what you find is, that basic skill of understanding, how to read financial statements, financial information. Like, if you think about it, any company you're at, the management team and the leadership team, like, they have to be able to understand what the financial information is saying to make decisions. And so what I was seeing is a lot of people were telling me, like, hey, I'm an engineer, or hey, I came up through the ranks in management. I've never taken any finance or accounting, but I need to understand it enough to be able to speak to it in my new job or to get this new promotion. And I think a lot of people are starting to realize, like, how useful the skill of accounting is, and like how common it is to so many different career paths and opportunities.
absolutely. Thank you, JT. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, so how do you recommend job seekers to position themselves for remote or flexible opportunities within this field, especially as many roles are shifting online?
Yeah, so I would definitely say, I think, is the first thing is, I think, getting comfortable being working in a remote environment. I mean, and I know this may or may not be the case for, like, your community, but I meet so many people that tell me, like, I just can't do remote at all. And what I will say is that there are a lot of, if you aren't willing to do remote or work in a remote, role, like, it does limit your opportunities. Like, it limits you only to what is locally, or you're going to have to up and move your life to be able to take advantage of some opportunity. So I think the first thing is just really getting to that point where you're okay working in a remote environment. And then I would also tell people, and I know this may not be the most common kind of career advice that you would hear from people, is I would say really develop some healthy personal relationships, because when you are working remote, it can feel very lonely. And so
Yes.
you don't have that benefit of being in the office, being around people. And I think that's where the health of your personal relationships, your friends or family, that's where that comes in, because there are a lot of people who have, done a remote job and they just really felt lonely or fell into a state of depression. And I think that being able to have those healthy personal relationships will help you be able to navigate that remote environment very well. And then I think it'll set you up to be very, very successful. And I think also just getting on LinkedIn is a great way, I think a phenomenal thing to do, because when you're on LinkedIn, one of the things that you'll start to see is you can just type in keywords like bookkeeping, or you can type in keywords like accounting, and you can start to see, posts that people are sharing about what's happening in the field. Like you can hear about some of like the latest news or the latest updates or what's popular in the field. And you can also see job openings. And with a lot of these different job boards, one of the things that you can do is you can start to filter the job board to say, all right, look for accounting positions that don't require a degree, or accounting positions that are all remote. And what you can start to do is you can look at what are they looking for. And then what I would probably say is work with a great resume writer to then tweak your resume to actually align to the types of skills that they say that they're working for. Because prior to starting my company, back when I was working for other companies, one of the best pieces of advice that I got to when it came down to applying for jobs is that don't just have one version of your resume. Like if you're applying to a tech company, have a resume that is aligned to, the lingo and the jargon of a tech company. You want to apply to like a manufacturing company, have a version of your resume that is tailored to that. And some people may get a little nervous about that. Like, am I lying? It's not that you're lying. It's just you want to emphasize certain things about your prior experiences and your skill sets that are more aligned to that industry or to that type of company. Because at the end of the day, you're trying to present to them the idea that, hey, this company hiring you is going to be a good idea because you are ready to hit the ground running and add value to that company in the role that you're trying to get hired for. So you want to tweak your resume to align to really show the best light of you and your experience.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, a lot of us here, we're very, we come from all sorts of backgrounds, have different background skill sets. So it's all about just capturing that angle for the company, and using your transferable skills as well. We talk about that too. So you're not necessarily lying, like you said, but you're accentuating certain points within your past experience to show, hey, I'm a good fit for this. So I love that what you mentioned. So what are the biggest misconceptions that some people have about starting a career in bookkeeping or accounting?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is that people feel like they have to be experts in math, which, we've already talked about that one. That one is probably not true. I mean, I know accountants who are not that great in math. And part of it is because they're always using the calculator, or they're using like a software program or a spreadsheet where they just type the numbers in there and the spreadsheet does the formulas for you. And then I think the other thing that's probably a big misconception is a lot of people tend to think that like accounting, bookkeeping jobs are only for introverted people. And I would say is that, there are a lot of introverted people who do go into the field of accounting, because if that's the way you want to approach it, there is a ton of opportunity for you to have, I would say, limited or selective interactions with other people, where if you want to come in and you just want to focus on getting the work done, there are opportunities like that. But then also in the field of accounting, because a lot of it really is interacting with other non-accountants, to where you're explaining information or you're asking them questions and you're trying to help them make decisions, to where there is a ton of opportunity to interact with other people who are not accountants, to where there is space for people who are introverts and space for people who aren't introverts to actually be successful in the field.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. I did see someone asked about your podcast. They asked, what is your podcast and where is it available? I do want them to have that info.
Yeah, so I would say we did a podcast called the Finance and Accounting Show. If you look it up on any podcast platform, you can find it on YouTube. If you type in the Finance and Accounting Show, and in that, we did some videos where we really dive into some of the topics. And what I did is I invited other accounting firm owners on, and you get to hear from them sometimes, like some of the stuff that they're looking for, and some of the things that they're trying to figure out. There are some conversations we talk about, the types of accountants, so you kind of understand, what some of those different roles are and what some of the expectations are. So that one is there's some great content there. And I think I saw someone asked about, they mentioned about like they had, different types of resumes, but they still weren't able to land an internship. And what I will say is that I think having the different resumes, A+, that is excellent. I would say continue to do that. But then also, I think that's where platforms like LinkedIn become very helpful, of really engaging on LinkedIn, because one of the things that you can see is that there are times where people can change that little, I guess, circle around their profile where they say, we're hiring. And a lot of times companies will post a job posting into where you can look to see, hey, is this a job I want to apply for? Because part of getting and landing jobs or internships, a lot of times it comes down to relationship, and just sometimes it is the timing of like, hey, I guess a little bit of serendipity, or people may say a little bit of luck. As far as timing, because every company can't review every single resume or every single application that comes through. So I've seen a lot more people leveraging platforms like LinkedIn to actually connect with people. Like, I've had several college students reach out to me after, like, I've spoken at a university, or I've spoken at a high school or a community event. I've had people reach out to me and connect with me on LinkedIn and say, hey, Terrell, I really love what you said. Hey, if there's ever any open positions in your company, hey, I would love to work, whether it's an internship or whether it's full time. And there have been, in times like I haven't had an open position that worked for them, but sometimes what I've done is I've connected them with someone that I did know have an open position. Was like, hey, they were proactive enough to reach out to me, and the way they reached out, like, I have a lot of respect for the way they reached out. And I did some introductions to people that I knew that were looking to hire someone. And so a lot of times what you'll find is that there is some aspect of that networking and developing relationships. And I've even seen some people get hired by, what they're doing in like the podcast space. Like, there was one young man that I met. What he ended up doing is he just started a very simple podcast on LinkedIn where he used Zoom. And what he would do is he would just interview the owners of accounting firms. And his deal was he just wanted to interview them, understand what does it look like in a day in the life of an accounting firm owner. And eventually, multiple accounting firms made him a job offer just by developing those relationships, to where he went from just trying to get his name out there to where he had multiple job offers and he could kind of pick. And because a lot of times people, when you develop those relationships and you do something like that, to where you genuinely are trying to develop the relationship and not just like, hey, I just want to get something from you, I think it goes a really long way.
Absolutely. Yes. I saw a statistic just recently that a high percentage, I think about 80% of jobs are filled through networking. So a lot of the times it is who you know and how you can leverage those relationships. So, like you mentioned, using LinkedIn is really great. Okay, so I don't want to hold you up too long. I have two more questions. So, what is your single biggest piece of advice for standing out to employers in the bookkeeping and accounting job market?
Yeah, so I would say years ago, I probably would have said, it was something technical. Now, what I would probably say is, really how you really talk about in your resume about like why you want to go into accounting. And that's not even, talking about your prior experience. Like when you're doing a resume or you're applying for a job, or let's say you're networking and you're reaching out within your network, or even if you're using a platform like LinkedIn, you're reaching out to people, like, one of the things that I think people fail to do is really express, why are you interested in this industry, or why are you interested in this job? Because a lot of times people just, they skip over that. But as a person who does hire people, and as a person who talks to a lot of other people who make hiring decisions, one of the things that hiring managers consistently tell me is, I am excited to hire a person who actually wants to be a part of this opportunity, a person who actually has a personal motivation for why they're pursuing this job. Like that really stands out, and that makes people remember you, to where if, a person came up and said, hey, I want to go into accounting because I heard that accounting is the language of business. And if you understand accounting, it really helps you understand all of business. Even if a person said that, like, you're going to remember that over the person who just put in their resume and their application, because it's just going to go into the pile with everyone else. But I think when you can express your true motivation or express it in a way that really catches people's attention, I think that can really make you stand out. And then
Absolutely.
I would say the other thing is really working through your network. And what most people don't realize is you probably already know people who are in the field of accounting, or you're probably one introduction away from knowing people who are in the field of accounting. And I know I've referenced LinkedIn a lot, and part of that is because it's done a really good job of, like, when you go into the platform and let's say you start connecting with people, what you'll start to find out is you probably know a lot more people than you think. And sometimes what I would do is I would type in a name, or let's say type in a company that you may be interested in, and then you can see other people who might be in your network that also know somebody that works at that company. And then from that perspective, you can reach out and like, hey, can you give me an introduction to so and so or whatever? And I think things like that, where you start realizing like how small the world really is, because when you're doing effective networking, I think that's going to give you a much better chance of landing the types of jobs. And also in that networking, if you see a job at a company, you can probably ask someone in your network, hey, what do you think about this company? Or what have you heard about this company? So you can stay away from the ones that probably wouldn't be a good experience for you.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay, we have a question. I didn't want to skim over it. Someone asked about, referring to what you just mentioned, does replying that the industry is growing and I enjoy tasks involved with accounting sound like a good response?
Yeah, so what I would say to that is, I think that's a great start. What I would also add into that is talk about, like, is there a specific task, or let's say one or two tasks with that are involved in the accounting industry that you can mention? Because if you can mention like a specific task, or one or two tasks, that's going to make it stand out even more. Because one is, people are going to hear that and they're going to be like, oh, they're not just giving me a blanket statement. Like, they actually have some understanding of what happens in this field, and they can actually, mention it by name. I think that would help you stand out even more.
Yes. All right. It's about the language, knowing the language and being able to speak it. Okay. So for someone who wants one-on-one coaching throughout their learning journey and their job search, how can people connect with you?
Yeah, so I would say is the easiest way is to reach me is on LinkedIn. And you can find, if you go on the LinkedIn, you can find me. It is Terrell A. Turner CPA.
Yes,
So
we have
I'm
it in
gonna
the
put that in the
description.
chat.
Yeah, we also
Terrell
have it in
A.
the description box as well.
Yeah. So yeah, if you type that in, like you should find me. And the reason why I had to put the credentials at the end is because I realized there are other Terrell A. Turners on
Oh,
LinkedIn.
oh
So
wow, look at that. Okay. Well, I do have the direct link in the description box, so hopefully you
mhm,
guys can see that. I also added in your website as well,
yeah,
in case
yeah,
anyone was interested in looking more into your company or, possibly working with you in that way. Yes,
yeah.
but
And
thank
I
you
always
so
say is
much.
what I will
Uh-huh.
say, because I think I saw someone say that they're not on LinkedIn. Like, if you're not on
Yeah.
LinkedIn, if you go to our website and the contact form, so we have I have a marketing team, and there's a person on the marketing team who's constantly watching that, like, and they're letting me know, hey, here's a message that popped up, or here's someone that reached out. So if you reach out through our website, what I'll do is I'll have my marketing team tell them, hey, look out for, if you put in there like something like, hey, career advice, I would tell people, hey, look out for messages that have career advice in like the description or in the notes, and to make sure they flag that so that I can see those.
Oh, great. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Terrell. I mean, we learned so much. Someone else mentioned, like, wow, this is so much information. And you really gave us a lot to think about because, I mean, previously I didn't know that you could actually get into this field without a degree. And so, with you letting us know exactly what it looks like, it gives us more information to maybe look into it a little bit, see what it's all about, and maybe even use accounting for other areas of business to add to our resume and really set ourselves up well for the future. So, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for being here. I'm very, very appreciative. All right.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Yes. Well, I want you guys to connect with him. So, like I mentioned, his links are in the description box, and his podcast I will link in the description box as well, in case you guys are interested. All right. Thank you so much, Terrell.
All
Have a
right,
good
thank you.
day. Okay. All right, guys. Listen, we are learning a lot. I am so excited with all this information that we're taking in today. You guys have a lot of information to perhaps change into a different career path. If you're thinking about working within bookkeeping, helping people to manage their finances, and accounting, there is so much space within that industry. A lot of people, like you mentioned, there are a lot of people that are retiring very soon. So we need young, fresh blood. So you guys, look at I did send the link in the chat, but I will allow you guys to see it once again. Ooh, right here, just so that you can take a look. This is the class that he is currently teaching, and it is through Course Careers. I talk about Course Careers ad nauseum because I truly enjoy what they have going on. I'm currently enrolled within another class, but Course Careers is a great resource for gaining your certification, getting hands-on experience, and the skills that you need to boost your resume and take it to the next level. Also, they work directly with, like I know some companies use Course Careers, recent graduates, as they look to Course Careers for their new hires. So yeah, take a look. There is a free class where you can just become introduced to accounting and bookkeeping. If you're not sure what it's all about, the class will give you kind of an introduction, a breakdown of what you could expect. And if you're interested, you can move forward in that way. There's a huge discount when you click that link, and payment plans, and it's just a lot easier and more manageable than college, like Terrell mentioned. Yeah, so okay, let's move on. So I hope that you guys are enjoying. So we're just gonna wrap things up. I don't want to make this job fair super long. I know previously I've been known to have like 3-hour job fairs going on, and I know you guys have a lot to do after as well. You want to wine and dine, wind down. So we're going to end off on a high note. I have another fun game. If you guys are interested, ooh, I hope that I put this up in the right order. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to end this night off on a high note. Let's put on some rock music. This is our fun music, right? Okay. So we're going to end off with our remote job trivia game. We usually do this trivia game on the way out. It's very simple and easy. There are 2 ways to play. So we have multiple choice questions, and we also have true or false questions. So I will be asking you guys a few questions based on some of the things that we've heard today, and you guys just let us know in the chat. And then we'll wrap up by answering some more questions that you guys have, and I will create that link to get that free grab bag for those of you who are still here and still rocking with us. Thank you guys so much. Okay, so are you guys ready? I just want to know if you guys are here still. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. But thank you for sharing. You've been flying for 10 years. Absolutely. All right. Okay. We have people that are ready. All right. Okay. So the grab bag will be, will have a resource inside of there that you can use as you are job hunting. I'll talk more about it soon, but let's get into the game. All right. So we're going to get started with our trivia game. All right. First question. Number 1, based on what we heard from our Ashley Cash, who came up here, she talked about a lot of the interview, how to prep well for an interview. So what is the most common question asked in a job interview? What is it? Is it A, what are your strengths? B, where do you see yourself in 5 years? C, tell me more about yourself. Or D, why do you want this job? Let us know. All right, okay. Listen, okay. It is C, tell me about yourself. The question that a lot of you guys mentioned, like, you dread that question. Tell me about myself. Like, I hate rambling. I hate talking about myself. That's kind of the thought I had before when I would go on interviews. Like, oh my gosh, what do I say? I would stumble. I wouldn't even come in with a clear strategy. So that was one. And then another one, a common question, they do ask, why do you want this job? But it's mostly, tell me about yourself. And like Ashley mentioned, they want to know how your answer connects with their vision, right? So let's just keep that in mind. Next question, number 2. When asked, what is your greatest weakness? What is the best way to respond? Is it A, say that you don't have any weaknesses? B, share a real weakness, but explain how you are working to improve it? C, blame it on your previous boss? Or D, talk about a weakness that doesn't matter? Let us know what you think. All right, okay. Yes, it is B. Share a real weakness, but explain how you were working to improve it. They do want to know what is your kink and do you have accountability? Are you able to look at yourself and see, okay, I am the problem here and I'm doing the work to fix that. All right, here's another one. Oh, excuse me. So, okay, talk about a weakness that doesn't matter. Well, I would not do that because then their eyes might just glaze over you and they would check out. They basically want a certain outcome out of that question. So just keep that in mind. All right, let me get this next slide. This is the next one. Oh, hold on a second. Okay. Next. Ooh, okay. Next question, number 3. It's okay to negotiate salary during the first interview. Is that true or false? Yes, the wrong employer might use it against you, and that's definitely a possibility. Is this true or false? Let us know. I know it's getting late, guys, but I thank you for being here, okay? You guys could be anywhere, but you are here, and that means the world to all of us here, especially me. All right, I'll give you guys a little bit more time. All right, so a lot of you guys said you're saying false. Someone said C. We're talking about the last one. All right, so the answer here is false. And you don't want to lead with the discussion of money. Of course, it's something that will come up, but you want to work towards that, right? And you definitely don't want to talk about money with the recruiter unless they ask you, hey, what money, like what is the number that you want, right? I need to know a number. So salary is just something that you leave to the final steps, and you leave it open-ended, like Ashley mentioned, giving them the opportunity to give you the range so that you can make the money that you deserve and not lowball yourself. I've been known in the past to tell, employers, hey, I made this amount of money in my last job, and be really, I wouldn't even say meek about it, but just kind of going in there tippy-toeing. And guess what? They gave me exactly what they thought I was worth and what I thought I was worth. So definitely stand true to your worth, of course, but don't talk about money yet. Next one, what's a great way to answer why should we hire you? Why should we hire you? A, because my mom says I'm amazing. Is it B, I bring a unique blend of skills, experience, and passion to the role? Or C, I can work for free. D, I'm not sure, but I'm fun to be around. What's the answer here? What would be the best way to answer this? My mom says I'm amazing. I must be amazing. Awesome, guys. Yes, the answer here is B. I bring a unique blend of skills, experience, and passion to the role. Ashley talked about using your story. She mentioned, I took notes. My notes are right here. She talked about the money story, how you can use your skills, your experience, your passion to create a story to make you that money. All right. So talk about your skills, talk about your experience. No, don't just, leave it there, but go into your story a little bit. Talk about some of the achievements that you've made as well, just like she mentioned. All right. Can I say as much as you can give me? Well, I mean, yeah. Oh, you're talking about the previous question. I would not say it in that way, but leave the, okay, so you're mentioning this one here, negotiating salary. You want to leave it open-ended. It's a way for them to come to you with the facts so that you can make that decision rather than you leading it fully, right? All right, so next question. So if you're stumped by an interview question, what should you do? A, panic. B, politely ask for a moment to think. C, run out the room. Or D, make up a funny answer. Tell us your answer here. What is the best way to answer this interview question? All right, yes, you guys are so smart. All right, it is just simply politely ask for a moment to think. I mean, if we're human, sometimes we need a little time to sit and process. It's better for you to process and come with an answer that makes sense and is connected well with the interview rather than you just kind of spurting out whatever is the first thing on your mind or running out of the room, very awkward, and you pretty much canceled yourself from that interview. Yeah. Of course, we might panic a little bit, but it's all about maintaining control and confidence. All right, so that pretty much wraps it up. So that wraps up our fun, I guess you would say trivia, remote job trivia game. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. That's one of my favorite games as well. I love playing games with you guys. It's a whole lot of fun and we learn so much at the same time. So thank you so much once again for joining us here. I hope that you guys found that this job fair was very valuable and enjoyable. Like I mentioned, I will just give me some time to work through the live video and write out kind of a synopsis of what was mentioned, including Ashley's notes as well. For those of you who were not able to screenshot correctly, I will have this in a PDF downloadable. I will be sharing it. So make sure that you are subscribed to the email list on the website, Digital Boss from Home. And I will be emailing it there, also having the link in the community post and talking about it in the videos as well, so that you guys get this information, because I tell you, this information was so valuable and you guys would pay money for this information, but you got it all for free here. How exciting, right? So, all right, so without further ado, I am going to release the link. All right, let's hold our breath and make sure it all works first. Release the link so that you guys can go ahead and get your free goodie bag. So in the goodie bag, we have a career tracker. It is kind of a workbook where you're able to identify your strengths, your weaknesses, how to empower yourself at a job that you are dreading and you just need some kind of encouragement to keep pushing forward. This is definitely going to keep you in a positive mindset as you are having to deal with the circumstances that you are dealing with right now, at least until you're able to land that job that you really, really want, right? Because the truth of the matter is a lot of us are still working a job that we don't really love. We have dreams toward the future, but we need something now. So go ahead and visit Digital Boss from Home. I'll put the link right here in the comment section. bossfromhome.com. And from there, upon arrival, you will see, you know what, let me go ahead and present it so that you guys, so that you guys can see it for yourself. All right, so, okay, so as soon as you visit the website, this is going to be the pop-up. You're going to hit grab my free goodies. And this is the screen that will basically tell you everything that you need to know. It's a career empowerment workbook, basically everything that you need, or a lot of what you need in order to get started on a more positive journey. Today we have one item in the grab bag, but no worries because there will be more added into our next grab bag. So go ahead, add it to the cart. Everything works. Just making sure last time it did not work. Check out, and of course, you would put in your information here. It's absolutely free. Go ahead and check out and download it. The download will also be the download link will also be sent to your email as well. All right, so thank you guys so much for joining us. Once again, I want to thank you guys so much for being here. I want to make sure that I responded to what you guys are mentioning here. This will be replayed immediately on YouTube so you can watch it. I will add timestamps as much as I can. Give me some time here. We did get a lot of information, so I'll be sitting with the video, analyzing it, getting that PDF so that you guys can have that information, and also adding the timestamps so that it's easy to navigate. All right? Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are the best. I so love this community here. I'm encouraged to continue providing as much helpful, valuable information as possible. I'm working on some things behind the scenes, but just know that I have some things coming up very soon that will add so much value to you as you are looking for remote jobs in this crazy, hectic job industry space, right? All right, so good night, guys. Thank you guys once again for watching, and we will chat very soon.